Okay, can everyone hear me? I hope you all can. All right. Okay, thank you for Benson for the sharing. For the introduction. Tonight we're going to have a look at how we are going to enhance the flexibility of our joints. All right. So, what are joints? Basically, joints are certain parts in our body where the two bones are linked together. All right. Through tendons and muscles. And now there are, for example, your shoulder is a joint, your elbow is a joint, your ankle is a joint, your wrist is a joint. Now these are the major joints. Besides that, there are also minor joints like your fingers and all that, right? Now, why are joints important? Joints are important simply because they allow for your body to move. Okay, so without joints, your body will be very stiff, and then you will not be able to move around or do things like holding on to something or whatever. All right. So now, and why is joint health very important? Okay. Now the flexibility of joints is important because it allows you to be flexible. It also allows you to be agile. All right. And it also enhance your mobility. Okay. So now what are the issues, the main issues that actually affects your joints? Now, there are basically three major issues. And let's just have a look at it, okay? Now, the first one, of course, is wait. Okay. The first one, of course, is high uric acid or hyperuricemia, especially in Malaysia. And more people are having this problem now in Malaysia. As you can see, 3% of the population is having this. That means every 1 out of 30 Malaysian adults suffer from high uric acid. Yeah. And the other one, of course, is arthritis, right? So now arthritis, basically there are two types of arthritis. There's osteoarthritis and there's rheumatoid arthritis. Now these are the three main issues that actually affects our joints, that cause people to have reduced mobility because of that, right? So let's have a look at each one of them, and later we will see how we can overcome this issue and actually improve the flexibility of our joints. Now, the first one, of course, is gout. And what is gout? Gout is simply a form of arthritis that's caused by too much uric acid in our blood, right? And the result of this, of course, the symptoms are intense swelling, also stiffness and redness in the joint. And normally it affects the toes, area and toes, okay? And the reason for that is because when there's too much uric acid in the blood, this uric acid will turn into uric acid crystals, and it is lodged within the joints, okay? And because it's lodged within the joints, it will actually hurt the joints and cause inflammation. And these are the things that normally happens to your big toes, ankles, and your fingers, all right? And basically, in the serious case, because I have seen people with serious gout problem, you will notice that their fingers and their joints are very distorted, highly distorted. So you can see that. And gout attacks can come quickly and keep returning over time if nothing is done about it, slowly harming tissues in the region. As I said before, and it causes inflammation, and the pain can be really excruciating. It's really, really, really painful. I have not experienced it because I have no gouts, but I heard people sharing their experience, and they say, sometimes they say when the attack comes, if they have a gun, they will kill themselves just to avoid the pain, right? So, and also there's a sensation of burning. I cannot really describe to you how it is. I can only tell you what is on here because I personally have not experienced it. But those who experience it, I believe you will know. All right. And basically, how does gout comes about? Simply because of the consumption of high purine diet. And this high purine diet, now purine is a substance that's present in food. And when it's taken into your body, after being digested, it's converted to this thing called uric acid. And when the uric acid is too much, it will be converted into uric acid crystals, and later it will turn to gout. Okay, so this is a process of how from eating a high purine diet will lead to you having gout. Okay? And let's just have a look at some of the food, so at least you will know, you can share with your friends some of the food that are high in uric acid. And here I have listed down the food that is high in uric acid. The one at the top are really high in purine, sorry. And of course, number one is alcohol, all types of alcohol. And you notice that people who drinks continually and a lot will in the end have gout problem. And second one is, of course, red meat, particularly beef, pork, and lamb. Okay, these are called red meat, and they are very high in purine. So best is to either avoid or reduce the consumption. And the other one that comes is seafood and shellfish, particularly shrimp, mussels, anchovies, sardines, and lobster. Now, sadly, these are foods that I love. I mean, lobster, but everything in moderation, because overconsumption of it can lead to high purine and high uric acid. And the other one, of course, organ meats, like liver, kidney, heart. Those who love to eat all this kind of meat, be careful. Please reduce your consumption, because ultimately, if you continue, it will lead to you suffering from gout. And besides that, there are other things that have certain amount of purine, not as high as one above, are this particular so-called vegetables or non-meat diet. I mean, oatmeal contains a certain amount of purine. So is wheat bran, mushrooms, green peas, spinach, asparagus, cauliflower, kidney beans, dried peas, beans, and lentils. Now, all these contain a certain amount of purine. So same advice again. I think the best is consume everything in moderation. Okay, do not overindulge and eat too much, because it will lead to gout, right? And the other problem is, of course, that the effects of joint is this thing called arthritis. And basically, arthritis is actually, it's a swelling and a tenderness of one or more of your joints. Due to, later we will tell you, and the main symptom of arthritis are joint pain and stiffness, which typically worsen with age, all right? And the most common type of arthritis are what I mentioned before, osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. And let's have a look at them. The first one, of course, is osteoarthritis. Now, what is osteoarthritis? Basically, this is one of the most common forms of arthritis. Actually, there are also a lot of subdivision of arthritis, but this is the most common form. It occurs when the protective cartilage, at the end of the joint there, the bone, where the bone meets each other, there's this thing called cartilage. Now, this cartilage protects the end of the bones, as well as act as cushion, right? So this is what happens, and somehow or other, depending on your activities and all that, this thing will wear out, this cartilage will wear out, okay? Now, if your activities are very highly, affects this cartilage, that means it will wear down faster, right? So it affects your joints in your hands, knees, hips, and spine, all right? And the other one is, of course, rheumatoid arthritis. Now, rheumatoid arthritis is slightly different. Rheumatoid arthritis is basically more of an autoimmune disease, right? That causes inflammation of your arthritis, of your joints, okay? So it also occurs on your knee, your hands, and feet, right? And the symptoms, what are the symptoms of arthritis? Of course, intense joint pain, all right? Stiffness of the joint. And when we mention joint stiffness, it also means that mobility is affected. You will not be so mobile because of this stiffness and the pain. You know, you can't move about so easily because every time you move, you have this pain. All right. And of course, there's a swelling in your joint that is caused by inflammation, inflammation and redness. Like I mentioned earlier, it limited your range of motion or movement and joint deformity. As you can see in the slides, you know, your fingers and your toes become deformed, you know, out of shape. And what are the risk factors that causes that leads to arthritis? Number one, of course, as mentioned earlier, high purine diet. There's I mentioned earlier, red meat, alcohol, animal organs, and seafood. So because of that, the advice again is for you to reduce the amount of this kind of food that you take or you eat. So again, moderation is the key, even though we love to eat all these things, but moderation is best. And secondly, of course, obesity, right? And obesity actually leads to more uric acids in your blood, and all because of that, your kidney have more difficulties to eliminate. So because your kidneys have difficulty to eliminate the uric acid, it starts to form crystals in your joint. And that's where it leads to things like gout and all that. Yeah. And also certain chronic diseases also can cause arthritis. Things like diabetes, high blood pressure, high uric acid, and heart and kidney diseases can also lead to that. Right? And also gender. Somehow it seems this problem occurs more often in men, though women tend to have gout after menopause. It simply means there's certain hormone in women that helps to protect you against gout. But after menopause, of course, you don't have this hormone anymore. So the tendency to have it will be more higher, all right? Age, usually between 30 to 50 years old in men for the high tendency of getting this problem. And women generally develop symptoms after menopause, all right? So, but because of nowadays, because of the environment and the diet, you know, and the lifestyle, people are getting it at a younger age nowadays. So even though you're young, it doesn't mean that you are free from it. So you have to take care as well, all right? And smoking, for those who are smoking, again, it is your risk will be higher of getting this problem, right? So ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look. Another one is, of course, physical inactivity. If you're one of those who are what we call couch potatoes, who doesn't move about that much, who tend to like to fly around and laze around, be very careful, you know. So activities, that means in order to avoid this, it's good that you move around a lot, especially through exercise, okay? So let's have a look. Now, of course, we are in Shaklee. So as we are in Shaklee, we look at this and how we can actually improve your joint mobility through nutrition. Yeah? And nutrition and the right nutrition is actually very essential for you to either improve or to prevent the occurrence of the gout and arthritis. So let us have a look at the products that actually helps you to improve or avoid the problem. The first one, of course, is Vivix, which is our star product. All right, this is actually a breakthrough product, which is very fantastic. And how does Vivix help? Now, Vivix is a very powerful antioxidant that helps to reduce inflammation. Okay, so the main key is to reduce inflammation, because once you can reduce inflammation, you also reduce the pain that's caused particularly by gout and arthritis. Another reason, of course, it helps to promote bones and joint health, and of course, increase energy and reduce fatigue. And when you have higher energy, you tend to want to move around, so it will help with your joint health. All right. So especially when exercising and all that, the more energy you have, the more you want to exercise. So that is good for you, right? And all in all, it promotes overall good health and well-being, and that is very important. Okay, in order for you to avoid the issues that actually affects the joints. The next one, of course, again, another one of my favorite product, that is Omega Guard. And how does Omega Guard help? First, again, is anti-inflammatory, which means that it reduces the inflammation, thereby reduces any pain that you may have if you have gout or arthritis, right? Secondly, it improves joint flexibility and reducing pain. Now, Omega Guard contains this thing called EPA. Now, EPA actually also helps because it acts like a lubricant within your joint. And when you have, when your joint is well lubricated, of course, you know, it moves around smoothly and easily, thereby reducing pain, yeah, when you move. And it also helps to reduce the wear and tear of the cartilage and degradation of the collagen. And like I say, it reduces symptoms of morning stiffness, tender or swollen joints, and joint pain by, first of all, reducing the inflammation, and secondly, acting as a lubricant. And that's how Omega help, right? Next important product is, of course, vitamin E complex. And how does vitamin E complex help? Simple. It is a very powerful antioxidant. It improves arthritis and pain, again by reducing inflammation. Somehow or other, you will see the connection between antioxidant and anti-inflammation. Somehow or other, they are connected, right? So when you have an powerful antioxidant, it will be effective in reducing inflammation as well. So the combination of this product plus the products before, it will be very effective to reduce inflammation and thereby reduce pain. And the other thing that vitamin E helps is because it actually improves blood circulation. How does it improve blood circulation? Is because vitamin E is a vasodilator. That means it actually dilates your blood vessel, allowing the blood to flow faster and smoother. And that's how it helps. And when your blood circulation is improved, overall healing improve and your overall health improve. It's very simple and it's very basic, right? And also vitamin E improves stiff neck and shoulders. And that's how it helps, okay? And another one is, of course, another fantastic product is this thing called alfalfa complex. Right? So alfalfa complex is very rich in a lot of trace minerals, and also in chlorophyll, you know, and in saponin. And how this helps is because one of the things about alfalfa is very highly alkaline, thereby it helps to normalize acidity in your body. Okay, so it helps to neutralize acidity in your body, and by doing that, it actually helps to neutralize the uric acid as well, right? And at the same time, it helps to relieve arthritis pains and aches and pains. Now, many years ago, we know that alfalfa actually is very effective. People with joint pain and all that, it helps. And we actually did ask the Shaklee scientists whether they have any like scientific research that shows it helps. Frankly, the scientists say that, you know, they really have not found anything that in the alfalfa that helps to reduce these pains. But if we find that it helps, just go ahead and use it. And that's what alfalfa is good for, all right? And it helps increase the bone density because there's also calcium in alfalfa, all right? And helps to reduce osteoporosis and break down of bone cells. And the minerals, is very high in minerals. Alfalfa is very high in minerals. And these minerals also help to actually increase the density of the bones. So alfalfa is a very good product, and never miss it. And it's also Dr. Shaklee's signature product. So make sure each and every one of you do not miss your alfalfa every day. Right? And of course, the next product is none other than Osteometrics or Osteometrics in US. Yeah, and Osteometrics is basically formulated to build bone density and prevent osteoporosis. That's why it's called Osteometrics, because of the ingredients. And it helps because it improves numbness, it reduces cramps, and it also reduces joint pains, especially from arthritis, right? And calcium is also a very good at neutralizing the acids. So it helps to neutralize the acid in your body, calcium, okay? And magnesium promotes the composition, promotes in building of the bone and cartilage. Magnesium helps in that, and it's also magnesium aids in the absorption of calcium. So the two of them always go together, besides vitamin D. Yeah. And it contains these minerals, which Shaklee scientists have researched and found that these extra minerals are the ones that combine together with the rest will improve the absorption as well as the maintenance, absorption of calcium as well as in the maintenance of healthy bones, particularly the repair of cartilage, and thereby prevent arthritis. And that's how Osteometrics help. Right? And the next product is, of course, none other than Herblex. Why is Herblex important? Because we know Herblex is actually helps to cleanse and especially remove toxins from our body, right? So the presence of toxins in our body also contribute to health issues, particularly issues like arthritis and gout. So Herblex help to remove those toxins, yeah. And at the same time, it also helps to, because of the cleansing, it actually helps the intestine to better absorb nutrients. And finally, we cap it up with the Family Wellness Program, which consists of the protein, the Vital E, the vitamin C, and the B complex. And this is one program that I always recommend for everyone to take as a base, because this is important in the way that it is a foundation for optimum health. Right? This product forms a foundation for you to achieve optimum health. At the same time, it also contains nutrients inside that also promotes bones and joint health, providing flexibility for you to move without experiencing pain. Right? And also it helps to reduce arthritis and gout. As I mentioned, some of the products there are also having the ingredients that actually helps you. Protein particularly helps to maintain muscle tone. It helps in tissue repair and proper functioning of enzymes and hormones. Okay, plus also the zinc that's present in the Vital E actually will help also in tissue repair and in healing. Right? And ladies and gentlemen, those were the products that I've showed you, I've shared with you. And these are the products that actually will help you to enhance the flexibility of your joints. So all you need to do is just either for yourself, take all this product, or if you know of friends who are having issues like arthritis or gout, just share with them these products, for I know it will definitely help, right? So why Shaklee? The Shaklee difference, for me, I always say simple. The three words: always safe, always works, always green. Right? So Shaklee product is always safe is because it has undergone a lot of testings, especially on its raw materials, to ensure safety, purity, and potency. Right? And it always works because most of the products are clinically tested, which means that it is confirmed to work before it even goes out into the market. So when you take the product, it will definitely work. And of course, Shaklee is always green. So not only does it's safe, not only does it work, it's also does not affect the environment negatively. Okay, so this is the Shaklee difference that you will not find in any other company. So, like I say, the term gunakan tanpa was-was. That means you can use it without any worries. And this is the Shaklee difference. And it is backed up by this thing called the landmark study. And what is a landmark study? If you want to go in detail, just speak to the person who actually introduced you to this product. The landmark study is simply just a study that was conducted by a third party. It's not by Shaklee, it's a third party. And The study is actually done to compare the difference between people who consume Shaklee, people who consume other brand, and people who do not consume, who do not believe in consuming food supplement. And they actually took the studies of people who have done that for over a 20-year period. And then they compare the results, and the results are simply amazing. Now, I'm not going to go through all this. I mean, not, but I'm just going to jump to there. The ultimate final conclusion is that people who take Shaklee overall take little to no medication. That means they hardly take medication, which simply means they're much healthier than most other people. 83% lower prescription drug usage. That is a high percentage. And overall, their overall health rate is much better. 84% of people reported very good to excellent health. Okay. And also there is a lower risk of dementia. 36% lower levels of homocysteine, which is actually homocysteine. We will talk about it another time, but it actually homocysteine is a contributing factor to dementia risk, right? And overall, also you have better metabolic health. People also have better cardiovascular health, and people also have better levels of C-reactive protein. Because it's a measure of the C-reactive protein is a measure of systemic inflammation. And this measure, this systemic inflammation can lead to a lot of health issues, like, for instance, the one that we shared earlier, gouts, arthritis, and all that, and even cancer. So from this, ladies and gentlemen, from this, you can see that Shaklee is just not any other company. And if you are looking for a right supplement, an effective supplement, a good supplement to take, I would strongly recommend you that you will look into Shaklee. So with that, I end my session here, and I will say there are a lot of people out there who needs a product. So I would encourage you to go out and share with each and every one of them, particularly in this particular period of pandemic where people are so concerned and worried about their mortality. All right. So go out and happy sharing. So with that, I will hand the floor back to Benson. Benson, back to you.
Wow.